Hi everyone, it's Terry Abraham with Marietta West Cobb Counseling Center. Recently, I posed a question to my Facebook friends and asked what they wanted to hear from a therapist in a few minutes' time. And one of the common themes in all of their responses was how to deal with helplessness, how to deal with things when we are not in charge and in control. That's a lifelong question, I think, for all of us. And one of the things that I feel blessed to have become familiar with through my work is 12-step recovery, because in 12-step recovery, one of the prayer for 12-step recovery is grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that is all about help me not try to control everything. I think about the first 3 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and all the anonymous programs follow the same steps. And the first step says we are powerless over alcohol. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. And the only word change in any of the 12-step programs is that you can substitute the word drugs, food, compulsive gambling, emotions for the word alcohol. I used to work with a group of women in a 12-step who would come from a detox center, and they would come into our program and say that I'm powerless over people, places, and things. And as an English nerd, I would always think they're powerless over nouns. Everything in the world, every noun in the world, we're powerless over. And the truth is, there are most of those things we are powerless over. Right now, we're living through a time when we really know that there is very little we can do. We can't control who does or doesn't get sick. We can't control how healthy they stay or how rapidly they recover. All we can do is our part. And some people are furiously washing their hands and washing everything to the point that they're hurting themselves. And some people are ignoring it and denying that there's a problem. And then some of us are trying to do our best and hoping for the best. But sometimes I think we have to realize that we can't perfectly manage everything. And even with our best efforts, that sometimes life isn't going to go the way we want it to. That's step 1. Step 2, without step 2, step 1 would be a really hopeless situation. But step 2 says we came to believe a power greater than ourselves would restore us to sanity. And a lot of people talk about what is that power greater than ourselves. Some people believe that it is God or Jesus or Buddha or the universe. You know, there are a lot of powers greater than me. Biology is greater than me. Gravity is greater than me. I cannot jump up and will myself to not fall to the ground again. I can't eat ice cream and every day and not gain weight. There are things that I have to finally admit and make peace with. And to me, that's what sanity is. I finally have to come to some sort of peace about the fact that I can't control everything that happens. But notice, it isn't me creating that peace or willing myself to be peaceful about it or knuckling down and just putting up with something. It is a power greater than me will restore me to sanity. A lot of times I think people have to be in a 12-step program where they can observe that peace and serenity from other people, that sense of well-being that other people have, and think, well, if they can get it, so can I, but how did they do it? And the way they do it is step 3. We make a decision to turn our lives and our will over to the care of God as we understood him. God being whatever higher power, whatever belief we believe in, our higher selves, our best selves, or the God of our understanding. And one of the things that I'm aware of and I cling to from the Alcoholics Anonymous book It's on page 83, I think. I don't have a book here. It's at the office, and we're in my home office clearly because there's my knitting and my Georgia memorabilia there, and poster from a calendar from yesterday still up. But it says, there's a statement that says, just to the extent as we do as we think he would have us. So just to the extent that we do as we think our higher power wants us to do, will he enable us to match calamity with serenity. So if I just focus on doing what I think my higher power wants, then my higher power will help me find serenity in spite of the chaos going on around me. I think that's a pretty amazing thing. And I love to tell this story about a young man that was a client of mine many, many years ago. He played football, and he was on the offense. He was a guard on the offense. He was to the right of the center, I think, or somewhere on the line like that. And I think of step 3 as like being that guard. I don't get to call the play. I don't get to determine if it's a run or a pass. It doesn't matter to me if the ball is caught, if we make a first down. That's not my job. My job is to hold the defensive line back, and that's my whole job. And it might affect how I do it if I know what the call is, but it isn't my call. I'm just going to do what's asked of me, and the rest isn't mine to deal with. I don't know about you, but I find that comforting in the sense that all I know is that when I do something, I'm doing my part, and I can't be responsible for anybody else's part, and I can't be responsible for the outcome. But I trust that as long as I do my part and just focus on my part, that I can have some peace of mind. I hope that helps you today in helping to cope with how you're feeling helpless. Think about what it is that you can do, or your higher power wants of you in a situation. And just focus on that and let the rest work its way out as best it can. So this is Terry Abraham with Marietta West Cobb Counseling Center. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and please stay safe and healthy.